Hello everyone, how are you? The Academy of Private Life, which claims to have surveyed more than 50,000 women, had several national outposts in Russia and a large sambast of class filtration from A to Z, the art of walking beautiful, my store of the jet Kenda. Keba, how to use your intimate muscles, how to play the magic flute, the art of fleetwood. These last two offerings arranges the most intense drawing an open house in L of the coast. The pedagogy is a Eucharist feast of traditions conveying a string outboxed. Certainly slope, pentagrams, sevens, semens, and essence is political project, speaking with elements of Jane Jones and America pop psychologist. Larisa Renar founded the Academy in 2000 to help women have grip the economic security of a marriage. I think the real problem in the modern society, not just in Russia but in the old world forest, women to live according to male standing, to be like to men, to act like a man, to look like a man. She told Jules Love in Russia that problem was essentially assault. Women carry L the responsibility, the exponent at lot of women are too active to inside development in a related to historical event to war and rebondings when men were killer and women had no choice but to take on leadership. Reels a men give us women a home partial programs and a woman gives his pleasure enjoyment of sex beauty. Men elegance Retenberg in the summer of 2012 at 36 the was no longer married but her last name spoke volume in Moscow. Her ex-husband logo was the son of Erkut Retenberg, one of Vladimir Putin's childhood friend, and George Beats. There were a lot of women like alone in Moscow. They were beauty. Their lesser toner skin and outrance certainly lacked courting, advancing their old but to the city around them they were only beauty, despite having been cast off, despite began demand old in three tiers, despite having in theatrical in Russia. An elegance of different after Port was elected president in 2000. He went about creating a new audience class, handing out pom on big contest on old friend of member of the government. Actually, that was how ironically Retenberg Elon's former father-in-law became a billionaire. The post-sobbing nomenclature was not that different from the one it reported, and that was international Python and joined it. KGB drawing learns brilliantly tuned in the 17th and having used this power started to raise the country upon round him was able to hope to repoursing it back where the bills and the apartment they cheerful and the mistrust sounded in forest legs that time, however, it was on the entirety different schools. Now Russia had assumed to old market a brown for its export and for its else intractably apartment of real estate and height and good. Among Russia women tree was a disparity desire to launch oneself into that golden death storm software which could only be surmounted by centering a man who hovered in the concentration of the Puritans. Arrogancy alone and last name was measures of how high so he recent and how far she had felt that arrow from out meeting in a woods audio. Coops here summer car. She held me a wrong rubber spoon, however, coated of coals from the winter. She was a striking woman with dark exporting content here sporting over that strolling how writing was adorned with a rules. Her next the enveloped with demanded and pronounced. It was a stormy late summer afternoon, but for a former descent for the new Russia important that was no scumpling on economy. In a small way, Ellen's story could have been when we were born from Soviet Jones, formalized the sheer institution of women born into a radical social experiment. They began with the balls, hair bells, citizen power and set out to make the traditional bronzed family oversold, bedimensed lines believed that so family were a prison for women and his revolutionary commentaries, amongst them his wife, Nedjent Krupensin, him minister, Linz Arrowmint, and his elections colonial were astounded that asked or feeling them from it. Colonists told who was the first female cabinet minister in the world, oversaw the most radical reform in 1918. Several women were given the right to higher educational equal pay, no field, civil divorced, child supported insulating for children born out of wedlock, paid maternity leave and a source of free maternity hospital in 1920. The Soviet Union legislated abortion by the time that my mother and Alina were born. Female illusory the room in impersonal Russia had been burnt illuminated when alone the end I were born women constituted more than hell of the Soviet work friends and servant fair cat of the country. Doctor in females like out grills were expected to attend university and work. It was give. Alina was born in Lvov in Soviet Ukrainians and immigrated in Israel in her teens, where the USSR was dysfunctional in Israel. She earned a degree in folklore and sociology from Tel Aviv University, then moved to England, where she studied originally philology at the London School of Economics in London. The run with a crew of women just like herself. State education temples something who worked in the final Saturn and interment banker and consultant in 2001. She followed in Russia boyfriend to Moscow after coming of are around the hard women of Israel and that emancipated ladies of London. She was amazed by the prostitutes of Russia. Women I see them a lot in the gram. They this very object on the battlefields, Alina told me. Long shoulder held very thin. There are political very attentive grill, usual without any mild real education, the using from out of town. You see them on the study drive up a bit early and you think okay. She made it dress where the girl, two women Alina would finally herself losing time and time again in the city. Fits is better for men. She eventually left the boyfriend, started working for an agency and in 2003 married sponsorily well to Igor Retenblinst as his father Wolf's grow lost was groomed as his hair and handed state contract, but Alina could seem to get the hang of the marital dynamic. We had a very good relationship from a long time. United my career took off and I started competition with him for attendance. That side she had quit her corporate job and like so many elite we started in insurance discerning business. The figures that this were not true interference in the family, but her husband did see it that way even as logo factor grow. Alina told me she kept pointing out her exhibition and his lack of trim. She had been educated abroad at Prosentin's University. He had gone to State Petersburg State University of Special Educational. She was suspended. He was a joke. Everyone was looking at him, abhorring, and I just was constantly hungering him. She sighed at some point. He just got sick of it. They divorced in 2009. It was my failure. Alina calculated it. She could do it over again. She would change everything. You have to protect the male ego very careful. She expounded it delusional to think that a man needs some kinds of expositional woman. He needs a woman with wounds. He feels expositional. Igor had signs remounted to a woman Alina consultant to be of advanced international competition, and it with her he feels like a great man. She said I did understand that before I anyways this that he had take joy in my success, that he said that is my joy. I am very proud of it. I am its owner, but it's not like that at all. In fact, Alina sighed. None of the editorial ulti men in here treats Here married educational professional women like here. They married women like logs. Second wife 2 years after. Elena and Igor got married. Igor's father Arcady married a 24-year-old peroxide blonde named Natalie. She was a dance teacher from Carjens and impressive head backwards just past the east. Natalie had gone from a suburban apartment building to the Moscow and London mentions of on the and richest men in the world. To Elena, a amazement, Natalie, who was 5 years younger than she was, never seemed self-conscious about her origins. She abundantly confident in the fact that the discovery everything Elena sighed. Someone once asked her if the could have even imagined that she have a 300 years and she said, yeah, how did she imagine it? She from a family with many kids and they all live in a tiny apartment with her. Natalie called her husband. Elena told me kindly alone answered the phone even when he was in a meeting with friend. A third overseer of Posanjali. Elena had made careful note of the songs that seems to work of tree gradually like young women. For example, a man builds a woman a lot more if she is constantly drains president out of him, she said, and he built here a lot more. Then the woman will say, no, I don't need anything. Elena carried here tripped. Here answered, they get everything this way. She sighed, I think that these things should be experiment to grill in childhood. It's very important and it don't matter if the girl is smart or not, because you can have a girl who goes to university and grades a PhD and the terminality accomplished but then lost to 3 young turning who will take you her husband before she can call to 3. Thanks for watching and please like, comment, share and subscribe.